The anti-trafficking field itself is, compared to even the disability rights advocacy community, is still very young. The Trafficking Victim Protection Act was passed in 2000. The federal anti-human trafficking laws have only been around since 2000, for 17 years. So we're still a relatively young field. And that's why we find it so crucial and important to do these kind of partnerships with other communities like the disability rights community in order to best leverage our networks, to raise awareness about this issue, to work with law enforcement, prosecutors at the state and federal level on trauma-informed care. That people are coming forward, especially with persons with disabilities. There's still a lot of bias against persons with disabilities that they might not be competent enough to withstand, say, 3 days on trial. The reason why we are starting to see more and more cases may be due to the fact that persons with disabilities are now being seen as more credible witnesses. To the credit of the prosecutors bringing these cases, that they are trying, working outside the box and trying to come up with innovative ways in which you really can be victim-centered, can be trauma-informed, and still push forth with an investigation and a prosecution. And so on the Callahan case, the prosecutor, Chelsea Rice, talks about how she received permission from the trial judge to ask leading questions, which is, in a normal case on direct, you can't ask leading questions. A leading question is something like, the shop on the corner, right? Like, that's a leading question. But the prosecutor was able to get permission from the judge to ask leading questions because of the unique qualities of this victim. They also did things like they allowed the victim witness to bring her daughter's teddy bear up with her to the stand so that she could have a token and be comforted and feel confident when she was on the stand to sit there and answer these questions. They allowed her to enter the room via the back so that she would not have to walk past the defendants because she was terrified of the defendants. And so it's those types of victim-centered oriented practices that essentially boost the competency of the victim witness. And because these victims, they are able to tell their story, they are able to participate in the criminal justice process, you just have to find innovative ways to allow them to do that, to bolster their confidence.